gotta start up with, first of all, thank you so much, Matt.
Hey, cheers.
Pleasure. I gotta start up, okay, rest in peace, James Brown, but after hearing all the travel you guys did, 30 hours from Ukraine to Russia, I'm sitting with the hardest working man in show business, Matt Bellamy, Muse. It's good to have you in Finland.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's great to be back.
We got to go back in time. I want to talk about you came up. You're all from Devon.
Yep.
And your first show, you had, or it's probably not your first show. You had a show as sort of like these battle of the bands type of thing. You trashed the whole place. You try to make a statement, and after that, you guys won.
Yeah, it was weird. We're kind of kids. We're like, well, we used to have sort of concerts in each other's houses. Like we'd play in the bedrooms or in the living room when our parents were away. We'd have parties, and try and get the girls around, get them drunk, and that kind of thing. So we didn't really take it too seriously. It was more like just for having fun. But we would always end up in a kind of pile of equipment, like Nirvana style, like trashing all the equipment. So we kind of took this onto the stage for our first ever concert, which was a Battle of the Bands concert, and we kind of did this to kind of sort of take the piss a little bit out of the idea of a competition. But for some reason we won this competition, and I think that that point we changed us because it made us think that maybe we have something else that we can take seriously, not just being stupid.
You took it pretty seriously. Like, okay, we're gonna move, we're gonna quit our day jobs, change the names Muse, and this is what we're gonna do for our life.
Yeah, that was it. That was probably when we were about 16 or something. But it wasn't really. We were touring for about 3 or 4 years. Not touring, but playing concerts in little places and around the country. Didn't really make any money, so we still had to have day jobs. I was working as a painter and decorator. Dom was packing Spice Girls t-shirts, and that's a pretty sad job. Chris was working in a guitar shop. So we kind of had to. We kind of moved away from home when we were about 18, and we sort of lived together in various different sort of cheap student type housing, for a number of years. But it wasn't really until about 2021 that we got a sort of break, and we started to sell records in indie shops, and we made our own records and we sell them in our concerts. And this guy. How
did that work for Dom? You said he was selling Spice
Girls t-shirts, yeah.
And then like one of your first tours was supporting Spice Girls back then.
No, apparently it says this on Wikipedia. I don't know where it came from. I think it was an elaborated story from Dom packing their t-shirts.
Okay, all right.
I think we fantasized about touring with them, but we were never lucky enough to be on tour. Dull, really, but pretty boring. But some good things, some bad things. Mostly bad things. But our first album, I think, represents a lot of that frustration, wanting to get out.
Nobody really has a love for the place they were born in.
Exactly, yeah. But the love's come back for me now for the first time. I've missed it for the first time because I've not been there for maybe 3 or 4 years.
You moved to Italy, right?
Yeah. I've been living I lived in London and Italy now, and I'm actually gonna go back because we hear that the town mayor is going to name the road sign. He's going to put Muse on it, so it says Teignmouth, home of Muse.
Oh, brilliant! The first guitar genius of the 21st century.
I'd never use the word genius. No, that's an insult, I think, to other guitar players. I think I do a few things which are maybe new, but I don't think it's not very difficult what I do. I think it's very. I tend to do things in quite a simple way because I'm concentrating on singing. So the guitar playing kind of has to move around the vocal, So whenever I stop singing, I just do something on the guitar. And then when I'm singing, my hands are just kind of automatic. So I don't think I'll never. I think there's other guitar players. People like Tom Morello I regard as genius, maybe, or Jimi Hendrix. These are kind of people that are in the upper echelons of greatness in guitar playing. I've always found it quite amusing actually that people regard me as a good guitar player, because I definitely don't regard myself as a good guitar player. I think maybe there's some innovations, but definitely technically I'm not very good at all.
No, but Tom Morello has he can successful in awards like that, Brit Awards, MTV Awards. How do you sort of? What was the first time when it hit you? When you guys were like, whoa, what's happening?
Well, it's just I think it takes time. It takes a long time to really absorb where you are, because it's very easy to become detached from from the fans when you're sometimes you're playing and you don't get much time in the city. You're moving on very quickly. Yeah. But I think this year we've had a much more chance to meet the fans after the concerts, and we socialise a lot more. And I think that really is when it starts to dawn on you when you're meeting the people that you're playing for, and especially in faraway places like Asia and Australia and South America, South Africa, these kind of places that we've been to for the first time, is kind of you really start to feel something from the fans, and you get the idea that music is spreading, outside of where you came from.
Our hopes and expectations, black holes and revelations, and our hopes and
Okay, we talked about showbiz, but it was actually the first time there was speculations, or there was Radiohead was obviously an influence on you guys, and the first album that really brought you into that light was Origin of Symmetry, right?
Yeah.
And you were listening to Jimi Hendrix, you were listening to Tom Morello, that kind of sound, and it was the first album when, of course, people are gonna compare. I mean, you make whatever and you're original, people are always going to find something.
Yeah.
That was the first album that you were compared to, like, Queen.
oh, mamma mia, mamma mia.
That's a big statement right there, but still you went left in that way.
But I think the band's as always, we've always had a lot of different styles and a wide range of sort of the softer and the more harder side of rock music. And I think even before the first album, I think when we were about 18, 19, we were probably more progressive sounding than we are now. But when we went to make the first album, we were working with a producer, John Leckie, who worked with Radiohead, and I think that we ended up selecting songs which were more like classic songwriting and not so much the really heavy rock stuff, And I think that this was why on the second album, Origin of Symmetry, we felt that maybe this was a mistake, because we felt it wasn't representing everything of the band, So the second album we kind of did the opposite. We did all the songs that were just very rock, So I think that really somewhere in the middle of the first and the second album you can find really, I suppose, the sound that we have, and I think that we found that more so on the third album, maybe, sort of somewhere in the middle of the first two albums.